Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this warm, I hope it's warm where you are. It's a very warm, balmy, unseasonably so warm St. Patrick's Day here in Oklahoma. That was Dennis B. Nkuzo, my good friend and co-host, and we're glad that you're with us tonight.
Article 5 of the Constitution is the part of the Constitution which tells us how we can amend it. There's two methods prescribed there. One, we can let Congress do it, which they've always done. And the other is Plan B, which is a constitutional convention under Article 5 to propose amendments to the Constitution. And basically what the Constitution says is that if we get 2/3 of the states to request this convention, Congress must call the convention. Mm-hmm. Well, in our group, we had a lot of people that supported this method to amend the Constitution to do things like strip away money equals speech and corporate personhood and stuff like that. And in order to really assess how we were going to strategically go after this process, we had to ask ourselves, well, what is the current count? Have any states ever done this before? And to our surprise, we found that of the 34 states required to cross this threshold to cause Congress to call this convention to order, we counted 49. All but one state, Hawaii, has made a request to Congress, and it's in the congressional record. So it was quite astonishing to us. We've been working on this issue, and many of us came to the revelation that we're at the point in the process where the states are done. They've satisfied their requirement, and now it's up to us to really force Congress to do what the Constitution requires them to do. It seems that there's this animal out there that nobody quite understands what it is and that it even exists, let alone that it's ripe and ready for the picking.
Dennis, does this kind of sound a little bit like the People's Congress that we've been talking about?
No. Actually,
okay.
Dan, sorry, I've been working on this for over 2 years now with some other people. There have been people that have been working on it longer than that. The website is peoplescongress.org, and we are at the point now that many national organizations have joined in with us. Many sections of the Occupy movement have joined in, and we are calling for this summer, before Congress lets out for their summer recess, we are going to hold a People's Congress in Washington, D.C. with delegates from all over the nation. We have professionals that are working on writing people's legislation as people submit it to us, that we can present to this current Congress and say, you either acknowledge it and give us a reason why you won't pass it if you don't pass it, or we will begin the process of developing a new Congress. So I would direct you to that page. There's a lot of work has been done already. And it's headed in the same direction that you're talking about.
That's great. This is like I said, it's a group of volunteers. Hopefully, since the nomination process in many of these states will be up to people, I would hope that they would choose people that are not politicians and actually just look around for the people
that
they trust.
This is the People's Congress is a populist movement. There are no politicians involved at all, and there will not be politicians involved.
And I think it might be a really good, that's why I was wondering, it might be a real good networking place for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think what you folks are getting at are, like I said, I think a lot of this movement seems to be marching in lockstep towards this goal, and this is a legitimate constitutional method. It'll be
Absolutely.
a peaceful change to our system. And really, I like to tell people, too, that our Constitution was written by revolutionaries. It wasn't written for corporations. You can't find corporation anywhere in that document.
Now, come on, where'd you hear that? Sorry, Dan.
I think they saw the horror of revolution and wanted to avoid anything like that again. I think this was a stroke of genius. They had put this in there and gave us a method in order to come together and avoid any kind of violent conflict.
And if you look at, we as a bunch of Americans have been electing the same dimwits that don't listen to us year after year after year, at a state level and at a federal level. I mean, and I do realize that we are starting to wake up. There are some of us that are starting to wake up. There are some of us who are wide awake. But for God's sakes, do we have to set off a bomb to wake up the rest of them?
Well, and I think the other thing is, I mean, let's look at, for instance, move to amend for a minute. You know, it's a huge group of people, and they've had numerous people of note on their board of advisors and what have you, and you would think that you would see more happening with that group, given the numbers, because we talk about numbers a lot, given the numbers and the names that are involved there. But one of the problems, and I agree with the caller in that, one of the things going around getting their main focus is, of course, Citizens United or corporate personhood, but going around and getting just city councils and things like that to pass an ordinance or a resolution isn't going to get us anywhere. And one of their larger meetings a few months ago, the statement was made that this is going to take 20 to 30 years. I don't think we have 20 to 30 years, and I think that's the problem. Those of us who are wide awake have realized that there's an urgency here. We can't do that. We can't wait 20 or 30 years, nor should we.